This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but we're the ones that have encouraged you all along to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, because it's time for Joanne's Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce to bring you Joanne's World of Nutrition with your host, the one and only Joanne Seeger.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. We are definitely going to do breath work this morning. Are you ready for that, sir, today?
I'm always ready.
Awesome. You know, so I was watching this movie with Sterling and my husband last night on Netflix, and I think, I can't remember the name, but it was so funny. And it was a comedy, and she was a Secretary of State and trying to become the president, and he was her speechwriter. And of course, you know, he had a boy crush on her from high school. See, I would never be a good movie editor. I can't even remember the name. But why I'm bringing it up is because they had this very stressful situation where they're being shot at and almost died. And she did breath work to calm herself down and calm the speechwriter down, so that way they could just stop freaking out.
I often wonder what kind of breath work Patrick Swayze did in Roadhouse when he sewed his wound up himself.
Oh, I
without anesthetic.
remember. What a
And the
great
staples,
movie.
The staples in his belly, you know, where
That was
he
an
got slashed.
absolutely awesome movie. I definitely got to rewatch that.
Hope I don't have to try to do that. The breath work probably helped a little.
Well, definitely. And what I thought was funny is that she said it's the Navy SEAL method, but she did it incorrectly in the movie.
Oh.
She did not hold. She just did an inhale and an exhale. And of course, I'm like, wait, nope, that's not the Navy SEAL method. You got to hold your breath. All right, so let's all do the breath work together, okay? So we're just going to use our nose only. We're going to breathe in for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, and then this is the part you always forget, sir. You're going to hold again for 5. So remember that box that has 4 sides, and that's why they also call it box breathing method.
How many times are we going to go through this?
So we're just going to do one time.
Okay.
One time,
With
okay?
all of the pauses.
So yeah, so all sides of the box, okay?
Okay.
So let's all do this together, okay? This is really important, okay? I've noticed with all my clients, we really are doing some shallow breathing all day long, and the most available thing to us is getting oxygen for free. Just take it in, you know? That's how we're designed.
Don't clench your fists while you do this. You want to relax your hands.
Relax.
I like what you do with your fingers.
I know. I always count the
gives your
tip of my
hands something to
fingers.
do.
Yeah. And drop your shoulders. You know, really, this is our one time. And close your eyes, obviously, if you're not driving, because your eyes are this major sensory that it's going to take in 1 trillion different patterns if they're open. So if you close your eyes and do the breath work, you'll have a good couple minutes of intensive healing that's going to happen. All right? We all ready?
We're ready. Let it all out and begin now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very good.
And you may now resume your normal
Nice.
breathing.
There you go. I mean, how simple is that? So today is going to be an interesting topic. I am going to talk about myself. So there is a little bit of a story about how I come to be in this career, and I've also been asked many times by people calling on the phone or contacting us through our website.
Let me guess. How'd you get started in this?
Yes, and the second question is, well, what do you do if I come in and talk to you? What do you do, you know? And normally my answer is anything you need. because I have found out in all these years that there is no blanketed solution for everyone. Everyone's life journey is different. Their goals are different. Their passions are different. Their emotional health is different. So I definitely don't have a one strategy fits all philosophy. And I like to get to know people. And through getting to know them, I will usually suggest things that have nothing to do with supplements. Sometimes they expect, because I own a health food store and all these supplements are on my shelf, that I'm just going to load them up with a bunch of pills and then just, say, well, thank you for the register, and see you later. Absolutely not. We actually deal with usually things that are more difficult to discuss, things that take effort, and really go deep. So I don't want to say like a therapist, because it's more exercises like we just were doing the breath work. And sometimes I find that my clients have a very difficult time, okay, with these type of things. They would rather me have them take, 4 bottles and go home and swallow a few pills a day and call it a day. But you cannot make substantial changes in your philosophy, your health, your anatomy, if you just do that. Okay, there's no magic pill that creates all of that, without your intellect and your emotional health kind of following along that. So, Cliff, if you're okay with it, we're going to mimic a little bit of a session, okay? And you can fib your answers if you want. Okay,
Oh,
so
I
you
don't
don't
have
have
to.
you don't have to tell the whole audience your life story, but
Oh, thank you.
okay.
They don't have time.
So I figured, because a lot of people have no idea what life coaching is, and life coaching is now a multi-billion-dollar business, okay? Because they are finding, I mean, look at New Year's statistics. When someone makes New Year's resolutions, on average, people don't even get through the first 2 weeks
I
without.
know.
And these are things that people really want in
That's
life.
true.
They absolutely want them. They really put their mind to it. They'll invest in, books or programs or equipment, or, even like a gym trainer. And then a couple weeks in, boom, doesn't matter. They don't read the book, they don't finish the program. So the life coaches are someone that's supposed to be there for you, your partner, your support system, your accountability, your solution based, your goal based. That's what we are here for. And we can't be that for you unless you're honest with us. So I'll give you an example, Cliff. So you come in and I'm going to say, okay, Cliff, we want to determine if we'll work together well,
Okay.
and see if I'm suited for what your goals are. Because some life coaches have specific, let's just say, passions. So they're not like, for me, most people think of me as food, lifestyle, emotional stability. Okay, that's where a lot of my reputation in town is. Like, Joanne can help with that. Like, you're going through menopause, you're struggling, or you're not feeling energy, you can't sleep. So that's what I'm thought of. But some are financial coaches, some are relationship coaches. So I'm going to ask you, Cliff, tell me why you're here today. What would be the reason that you're seeing me?
Well, let's just say I wanted to lose weight. Of course, I don't have any more weight to lose,
Okay.
but let's just say I wanted to lose weight. How could you help a guy that wants to lose weight? Because sometimes it's not easy.
Okay, I absolutely agree, Cliff. So you're here to lose some weight. So may I ask, if you lost some weight, okay, what would that change in your life?
Let's see. If I lost some weight, then wow, they'd say, "Gee, what's the matter with you? You're awfully skinny." Kind of. I mean, I've lost
Well,
like
let's
200 pounds
pretend.
during my life.
Yeah,
So
so let's pretend it's before you lost weight.
before I
And
lost
and so
weight,
why
okay.
would you want to lose weight? Why would you want to lose weight?
Okay, I know what I did to lose the weight, and I know that just everybody can't do that. So, what could just anybody else do
But
if they needed
tell
to
me
lose?
why you wanted to lose your weight.
Well, I wanted to lose my weight just so that I could get out and run every now and then, of course.
I
Because
love that. So mobility.
yeah,
So you wanted more mobility.
right.
Okay. How's your sleep doing?
No problem sleeping. I just lay down and it happens. Sometimes I'm not even laying down. Sometimes I'm watching
Great.
TV and I'm out.
So then we know we don't have to focus on sleep.
No apnea
Okay.
or
How
anything like
about
that.
mental clarity? From the moment you wake up to you go to bed, is your mind sharp? Do you feel like you have everything at your frontal lobe that you need?
I wake up feeling like Lurch on the Addams Family sometimes.
Okay, so I only watched that a couple times. Oh, so okay. So I need a little
Yeah,
perk.
for
Okay.
something. Yeah,
Okay.
good word to use because, well, I've used coffee over the years, but I've cut down on it lately, and it does me even better because
Wonderful.
it does not
So
hydrate you; it dehydrates you.
absolutely. So, and some of my clients are just like you. They have enough knowledge, but they're not 100% living the lifestyle they know they should be. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And what I always mention, if you have information that when you're doing a habit, you know better, that is more detrimental than a habit that you're not aware of that's doing a detriment. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll say, well, Cliff, I'm just curious. If you know that the coffee is really not what's going to benefit you 100% other than that quick fix that dehydrates your body, and water is so critical for your body, why would you continue to drink the coffee?
I don't have a good alternative, a good healthy alternative, except for
Okay.
water.
All right, so that's something I can give you. So that would be something you and I can work on, okay?
Mhm.
And how about the mobility? If you can't run, what other ways are you using your body each day?
Break dancing and wrestling.
Well, wow. Okay, that's awesome. Little, yep. So that's where someone starts kind of realizing, well, maybe running is something that is in their near future, but not their immediate goal. So we would say, well, are you walking? Are you like walking at least 10 minutes a day? If they're saying no, because some people look at if they can't do their ultimate goal, they don't want to do anything in between.
I don't know why people do like that.
Yes, and but there are many people that have that philosophy.
Been there, done that.
Exactly. So it's kind of like I have the jeans that I wore in high school. They're my favorite jeans. They don't realize that maybe there's three sizes in between those jeans, and you can get some really nice jeans to get into, the phase of where you're going to wear your high school jeans. But those other jeans are still going to look great, feel great, but you do have to buy those in between jeans. There is no way. And just like there's so many philosophers that have said for hundreds of years, always look at a staircase as one step at a time.
Yep.
Don't look at the top and go, how could I ever get there? You take it one step at a time. And so this question answer is how I find out really what drives the person. Some people might say if they want to lose weight, it's because there's a wedding, there's a special event, there's a lot of female philosophy that's behind that they want to look good for others. They really don't care. They just want to look good in a dress or at an event.
Right.
And so, but then if I start asking questions, well, how are you sleeping? How's your energy during the day? Do you feel like, strong? Does your lower back hurt? As soon as I start bringing up these questions, they'll realize that it's not really about weight. It's about the pressure and the strength and stamina the body has. With those unwanted pounds going away, you feel stronger, you feel worthier, your self esteem, your confidence goes up, and then you feel unstoppable. Everything, your workplace, your relationships, your drive, your passion, everything increases. So that's how a life coach works, to see that it's really not about a weight loss goal. It's about that you want freedom of movement. You want to jump in a pool and do laps like you used to, or you want to play with your grandkids and you can go down on the floor with them and jump back up because you're not worried about your hips or your knees. So once you determine that with me, then we do exercises that come from the emotional part, okay? And one of my newest add ons to my coaching is the AO scan. The AO scan is a software that used to only be available in a $30,000 device that was definitely out of my budget. And now it's available where you can just basically lease the software and I can use it on my device. So I've scanned now probably about 100 people, and it's about 85% accurate. Sometimes I feel even more so. And what it looks like is everything: anatomy, your chromosomes. It looks at your emotional health. I mean, anything you can think of, your hormonal profile, anything you can think of, it scans, okay? And it's frequency. And so this is quantum physics. And I feel it best that if you want to learn about this, you can go on YouTube, and there's an emergency room physician that has been in practice for, I think, about 16 years. And he uses the AO scan as well. And he absolutely loves it. And he had a health issue that came up, and that's how he came across the software. And he used it for himself as well and became a 100% believer. But frequency medicine kind of gets looked at like some new agey thing, but it's absolutely not. It's based on the most logical science there is. And he talks about it in such a wonderful scientific way in his video. So if you go on YouTube and type in Dr. Earl AO scan, he has two videos, part 1 and 2, describing it very logically and easily to understand. And he always references the MRI scan, that's a frequency too. So we all just kind of love going in MRI if we're really concerned what's happening inside our body and want to see an image. And so that's what this scan that I have does as well. So I use that as part of my coaching, because sometimes there are emotional issues, or there is some type of chromosomal issue. There's something that's happening that happened so long ago that is now showing up as maybe arthritis or as a chronic constipation or IBS, all these conditions that you're like, what the heck? All of a sudden I woke up this morning and I feel like I'm breaking down. So definitely check out Dr. Earl AO scan. And if you want really more of like that scientific background, but Solex is the company that owns the software, and they have amazing videos on YouTube as well, that are easy to understand. But I use that in my coaching. So that is basically, you sit down in front of my iPad, you put bone conducting headset on, and it only takes about 3 minutes, and you hear this nice music. It's a very pleasant experience. And then I email you the frequencies that you need to listen to at least a couple times a day. I love sometimes the Dr. Earl will say, yes, you should listen to it morning and night and then throughout your day. So one of my clients actually did that. She put it on her speakers at work. She does have a private office, so she is blessed with that type of space. And she listened to it all day. And she was so excited after a few days to call me and say, oh my gosh, Joanne, I don't know how this is working, but I feel so much better. And then I had another client that said the same exact thing. I don't know why this is working, and both of these people did not change their supplements. They didn't go on anything different. It was just listening to this music. So if you are interested in the AO scan, again, I do it as part of my coaching. So it's $35 a session, okay? Or you can buy 10 sessions for $250. I do suggest to try to make it where it's the 10 sessions for $250. That's only $25, and you can incorporate my other wellness services with that package, because it's consistency. Most of us are used to kind of going into something once and being like, oh, it's a little too scary. had to do some work for this, but it's really not. When you have a lifestyle coach, it's not about judgment. It's not about being scared or nervous. It's about having a friend, a mentor, a motivator, someone that's going to take your goals, not theirs, and try to work within what you can handle. And so to me, that's what a true life coach is basically. So for instance, I had someone that listened to my brain seminar, and they called my husband and said, I don't think I can work with your wife because I'm a vegan and she isn't. But just to kind of like let you know that a true life coach, it doesn't matter what you prefer. They're going to work with you. And as long as it's serving your greater good to get you to your highest potential, then that's the objective. So if it's working for you and your vitals are all coming up good based on what you're choosing, then we're good. But then you also have to have an open mind that if your body is not doing well with your choices, then you have to understand we have to change those choices because they're not serving you well. So it is trying to have an open mind and an open space to kind of encourage different seeds to be planted, and then you kind of cultivate the ones that you want to. Nothing's forced, it's all subtle. And that's what I love about the AO scan. When these frequencies come in, they're real subtle energy. They're not trying to push any system. Like sometimes our prescription drugs, they push systems, or they block them. And when you're doing that pushing and that blocking, the body just, it's like, wait, get out of my way. You're trying to fix this, I get it, but now you're breaking that. So with subtle energy, that just kind of goes in, and we are 98, if not 99%, just energy. I kind of, these are the scientists giving this statistic, but then when I really think about it logically, I'm like, wait, now they've discovered that our skeletal system is a living part of the endocrine system. So that's moving and changing and evolving every second. And all our organs and our glands, all those cells are replacing themselves every second, trillions and trillions of cells. So doesn't that mean we're 100% energy? Because if everything can be moved and changed and go on, so you have this mitochondria, the nucleus, the atoms, that's all energy. So, but I'm going to go with what the science says. So 98% energy. So that's a lot of energy that we have in us. And as we all know, if we're not sleeping well, or we're going to a job every day that's just really not feeling right with us, we're in relationships that just really are making us sad or angry or frustrated, and we keep living in that momentum, things are going to show up physically because they can't handle living in this oxidative stress constantly. And so we're going to take a break in a minute. So remember, we have this live call-in show, and I can answer some of your coaching questions if you want to call in. So 340-1590. And, again, this is never about judgment. This is a safe space to kind of just figure out, why is my body kind of showing these difficulties right now, and getting to the bottom of it. All right, we will be right back after this quick break. Hi, this is Joanne from Nutrition World and Wellness Center. I am really excited to introduce new guests and topics to my show every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. here on WPSL, where my listeners can call in on any topic. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it. We want to help you become the best version of yourself. We'll have naturopaths, coaches. I am looking forward to sharing my years of experience with my listeners so we can enjoy this life journey together.
Visit Joanne's Nutrition World in the Kras Square, formerly known as the Arcade Building, located at US 1 and Orange Avenue, across from Fort Pierce City Hall. Open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, Saturdays 10 to 3. Taking appointments for the Wellness Center online at joannesnutritionworld.com or call 772-464-3598.
Gut pain? Curamin is your safe, effective answer. Curamin from Terry Naturally doesn't just mask pain, it gets to the source and stops it. Get results or your money back. Gut pain? Get Curamin. Get Curamin at Joanne's World of Nutrition, US 1 at Orange Avenue across from City Hall in downtown Fort Pierce. Or visit joannesnutritionworld.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Curamin is for the use of occasional muscle pain due to exercise or overuse.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We now return to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Joanne's Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce. Here's your host once again, Joanne Seeger.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's enjoying the show, and thanks for spending some time with me this morning. I was laughing. The first part of the show, I was supposed to talk about my background, so I'll do that real quick, but I'm kind of cracking up. So here in the Treasure Coast area, we had 2 days that were cooler than normal. And so this morning I wanted that last bit of opening the doors and feeling like, we're going to get snow. Ha,
And
ha,
it's going
ha.
to get colder, though.
So-
It might not get snow, but it will get
So
colder.
my husband made me an attempt of healthy hot cocoa. So we should not call this hot cocoa. It is the most bitter, and I love bitter. I don't know what is in this hot cup, but it is so bitter. But thank you, honey. I really appreciate the effort,
Perhaps unsweetened dark chocolate, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's raw cacao, and that's it. I don't think there's anything else in it. I was like, okay, maybe a splash of oat milk could have done the trick. Oh, I have to talk about the oat milk first. So my granddaughter, something was going on in her tummy. And so I ran her on the software, the AO scan, like 6 times, and rapeseed oil kept coming up. And I'm like, I don't give her any rapeseed oil. So I asked her mom, I'm like, Shelby, does she have, because she does do a lot of those puffy things because she's just learning how to transition to start chewing and eating things. And so I'm like, are you giving her one of those puff things and it has rapeseed oil, which is also known as canola oil? And she's like, no, I checked all the ingredients. They're all clean. And so I go to take some oat milk out of the fridge, and that's what she drinks sometimes. And sure enough, on the oat milk label and the ingredients is rapeseed oil. I was like, gosh darn it. Because if you, again, I teach my listeners, never look at the front of the labels, always look at the back of the ingredients.
Look for the fine print.
Yeah, and so at the front, I looked and it looked really clean and perfect, unsweetened, blah, blah, blah. But nope, it had rapeseed oil in it. So again, guys, check your labels. Really, you have to be really careful because they put these inflammatory oils in everything now. Like so many dry products, the liquids, everything. So yeah, you want to stay away from those inflammatory oils. So canola oil, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, vegetable oil. Yeah. So, all right. So my life story condensed to a couple minutes, not that exciting. But when I was very young, I was very sick. So when I think young, I'm thinking about 13-ish, okay, the age of my daughter now. And so I just started getting this distension in my belly. I really couldn't hold food down. I was going to the bathroom all the time. I could never feel comfortable in my waistline with, zippering up pants and stuff. And so I was missing tons of school, and it was just like every morning I wake up and I just had no energy. And my mom worked at the hospital, and back then it was kind of like, I don't even know if we had insurance, what we had, but I was the youngest of 8 kids. So she would just drag me to work with her, and I would like sit down next to her. She'll talk about extremely boring, especially when you're not feeling well. and she would bring me to these different offices. Who knows what kind of doctors these were? I don't remember, but poked and prodded and really came up with nothing that helped. My mom did try lots of things from their suggestions, and I don't even remember what they were. And when I asked her later in life, when I got more logical and informed about my body, she couldn't remember either. So God bless my mom, but 8 kids, probably very tired and worked full time. So then my sister, Debbie, went on a date in New York City, and came home from that date and said to my mom, "Hey, I just had lunch with this nutritionist, I think he's called. And I talked about Joanne, and he said just take her off flour and dairy foods and she'll be fine." And my mom really had no clue what that meant. And so the other boyfriend of my other sister said, "I get it." And he was a total hippie. So he really cleaned up my diet and also, started giving me produce and healthy things. And then I do believe it was in a matter of weeks, so I can't be held to this, but I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks, that my body started running perfectly. And I'm talking about the absence of all of my symptoms. And not just that, I was stronger, brighter. I mean, I can remember looking at my eyes and they were so clear. They were just really vibrant, and my energy and my mind clarity. I ended up graduating a year early and going to school in Boston. But meanwhile, the whole time finishing school, I worked at a local health food store on Long Island. And that's where I feel like I learned the most. School was awesome, but it was kind of like the experience at that health food store, because she didn't even sell supplements. She was only about food and nutrition. And so she was awesome. It was like one of those stores that had all the bulk bins. And I guess she did have some supplements, but we really didn't push them. I mean, I definitely wasn't trained in supplements. I was trained in food and how food can be your medicine or it could be your destroyer. And in Boston, I learned the most because I lived in a household that I could not afford their rent. So I worked in the kitchen for these 11 other students, cooking breakfast and dinner. And in that time, again, learning about how to use the organic produce in their garden and bringing it into the meals. And we would go into the woods and dig up burdock root to put in the soup. It was an incredible experience. I do wish I was a little older to appreciate all the life lessons that were being thrown at me really quickly. But so I do believe my heart and passion has always been in food choices and lifestyle and emotional health more than supplements. But there I am owning a supplement store 35 years later. Okay. Well, actually, now I'm at 38 years. So, and the reason that I do this is because when you pair a beautiful, healthy lifestyle with a few key supplements, your body just gets better faster. Okay. Because if you choose the right supplements that are not synthetic, that do have your best your best intentions at mind, then just like the AO scan bringing subtle energy in, they bring a subtle little push. They're not like aggressive where they're going to shut down any system or cause a collapse of another organ or gland. It just basically gives the support structure. Now, I have a customer that suggested for today's show, Joanne, why don't you explain the perfect diet? And what I told her is that there's no agreement in the entire world on what is the perfect diet. No agreement, because there's no such thing as a perfect diet for everyone. What's perfect is if you are at your optimal, if your telomeres, these beautiful markers in your genetics that basically should be nice and long, at least for 100 years, if they start shortening too quickly because of oxidative stress, because of anger, frustration, sadness, depression, anxiety, those emotional burdens will start shortening those telomeres faster. So if your diet, okay, and diet just means it's not an abstinence of, that's not what diet's defined as. The diet is what nutrition you're bringing in. So if you're not bringing in enough nutrition, then you don't have the support to keep your telomeres strong and long and to help fight that oxidative stress, to not get premature aging. So that's all that matters, is that you honestly look at your day or each time you eat and say, am I consuming something that's bringing me nutrition? Or am I bringing in something that's going to cause more stress in my body because the body, like it's too high in sugar, too high in starch, too high in chemicals, it's all refined. And so if you start just looking at it, like not worrying, is it labeled keto, paleo, Mediterranean, or blah, blah, blah? Don't worry about that. Are you putting nutrition into your body? And if you are, that's a good first start. You do that with each and every meal. And then after 3 months, evaluate. Do I feel better? Is my eyes clearer? Do I have better vision? Am I sleeping better? Is my mental clarity better? Is my mobility better? Because yes, all that does matter, okay? Because that means the body's not breaking, it's repairing. And we always want the body each and every day to have the nutrients it needs to be repaired. And I think that's all that was happening with me as a young girl. You know, my mom did have most of us on wholesome home cooked meal, but when she started working the night shift at the hospital, she basically put, you know, my dad in charge of my diet. And gosh, love you too, Dad, you know. But boy, it was like such a shocker to my body because all of a sudden a lot of white bread products, a lot of processed cheese. That's when I met Velveeta. Gosh, like if anyone's still eating Velveeta, please, like, you know, burn it, like get rid of it. Like it's just not a food product, okay? Really don't put that into your body. I really feel like that was part of my demise and that got me so sick because my dad, he didn't know how to cook. So he'd just take out, you know, a loaf of refined bread and a whatever that rubberized, you know, whatever Velveeta junk that is, and cut a few slices, and that was dinner. You know, he really had no clue. So where my mom used to cook with, you know, really a lot of produce and homemade breads, and she make potato dishes because she was German. So just you know, really, just really quality. That's what matters, not what food program you go on. So sometimes it is a difficult conversation when people have habits that they felt was so beneficial. Like I know a lot of my female clients, they basically will say, well, I just do the non-fat Greek yogurt and I do, you know, the fruit with it. And then I do, you know, a piece of salmon for lunch and, you know, I'll have some like oatmeal. Like they're naming things that in America, it does sound healthier. It's not like a package. It's not like a fast food product. But the problem is that, is it offering nutrition? That's what you really want to look at. Is it offering you nutrients, vitamins, minerals? Is your protein enough? Is it giving you all the amino acids? And so the standard American diet, which most nutritionists call the SAD diet, okay, doesn't offer many much nutrition. And that's why I do sell supplements and why I'm so particular about the supplements that I sell, because we need them. Because no matter how hard we try, even if we grow our own organic garden in our backyard, we have to put a lot of natural fertilizers into that soil to make that produce beautiful and strong and healthy. So just think about it that way. You have to do the same exact thing for your body. And so just like you might go to the store for your soil and you buy this liquid solution, this organic fertilizer mixture or seaweed, and or you buy actual supplements for your soil, that's the same thing that you're doing when you get high quality supplements for your body. So it's not like making your body weaker. It's not making a system not work because you're taking a supplement. It's just giving your body the support, because most of the products that we consume are just that. They're products, they are not real food. And I know I try darn hard to eat real food all day long, and it absolutely is the most difficult thing that I have to do in a day. I would rather clean my house all day than usually plan 3 meals that are fresh, nutritious, that I can bring to work with me. So what ends up happening? I do one of my cleanest bars that I can find, that has really clean ingredients, right? Might have an apple. Like yesterday, I had a bunch of celery, because anyone that comes in my store knows that I preach celery. Eat celery every day. It's like the best thing for your kidneys. I call it free kidney dialysis. It's incredible for you. So eat your celery. So I eat that. I try, but it's hard. And so I admit that.
It burns more calories to eat celery than it is to digest it.
Yes, and remember Bert mentioned that last week, Cliff, that our digestive system takes so much energy. And that's the other thing I tell people, that, like when they knock intermittent fasting, oh, I didn't lose weight. Well, intermittent fasting wasn't designed for weight loss. The whole idea of intermittent fasting came to just give your digestive system a rest. That's all it was designed for, because when you're awake and your digestive system doesn't need to be working, then all that energy, it can go to all your other systems, your emotional well-being, your endocrine system, your organ systems, to filter out the waste and repurpose nutrients the way it was meant to. But if all the energy is in the gut all day long, it doesn't matter if you're eating, arugula, or you're snacking on, almonds all day long. If you're constantly turning on that duodenum, that sensory, saying, oh, she's eating again, it doesn't go, but you know what? Let's not burden her because she's making such a good choice. It's an almond, it's organic. No, give your digestive system a break. So again, look for things versus weight loss. Look for things like mark down. So this is another little homework I give my clients. Write down, I love index cards. When you go to the dollar store, they have all the amazing colors of the rainbow. And so I will say, put your why down on an index card. Write down, not about weight loss, okay? Why do you want the weight loss? And so put one reason on each card, okay? And then you keep them on your nightstand. And the first thing you wake up in the morning, before that, as they call it in therapy, that monkey brain starts, before all that negative self-talk starts, open your eyes. If you wear reading glasses, put them on so you don't strain your eyes, and start reading your whys. I want to socialize more. I want to get out more. I want to play pickleball. I want to, take longer walks. I want to be able to touch my toes again. Whatever the reason is, have your whys right there. Okay. And then another homework exercise I do say for the following week would be, on the back side of this, just give one action step that gets you closer. So for instance, if one is, I want to touch my toes again. Okay, I'm going to touch my knees. I'm sorry. Yeah. So knees or thighs. Sometimes, depending on mobility, I might even start at the thighs. I'm going to touch my knees for 10 seconds while doing, 5 deep breaths. Okay. It seems silly, but you'd be surprised how many people, if they can't achieve their ultimate goal, again, they don't take the steps in between. When I was training for my triathlons, and whenever I say that, I feel like that was a whole nother life. When I was training, my coach didn't say, okay, Joanne, I want you to go do a triathlon this morning. Wait, coach, I just started. This morning's my first day. Right? He would never tell me that, because one, I couldn't do it. Two, I wouldn't have stuck with it because that would have been too hard. So what did he do? Okay, I want you to take a bicycle ride. Just go around the neighborhood for about a half hour. Okay, I can do that. He didn't tell me I had to go super fast. He didn't tell me that I had to stress about it or, I just took a nice ride in the neighborhood, and then the next day, okay, take that ride in the neighborhood, and then I want you to walk 20 minutes with that bicycle ride. And then the momentum increased because I could do each step. And then all of a sudden, at the end of 3 months, I'm running, I'm swimming, I'm biking, and pretty darn good. So really look at everything as just one step at a time, but always you have to know your why. There are so many speakers, motivational speakers, that say that each and every morning, if you don't know your why or your goal, then that's where the mistake sets the day. Okay. So if you don't tell your mind, and I call it bossing around your animal, okay? Because I mean, how many times we have the best intentions of eating just like perfectly that day, and all of a sudden you go by your favorite coffee store where you normally get, that refined bagel or that refined donut or that real fancy coffee drink that's 60 grams of sugar. And it's like you're in the drive-through without even knowing you're there. You're like, wait, but I had the best intentions. And that's because you didn't kind of tell this body what the mind really wanted. So you set your intention every morning, whether it be one goal or 100 goals, that doesn't matter. It means that you're setting the momentum for the day and what's really important for you. And one thing I love that Bert says all the time, and he really he holds me accountable to this sentence a lot too, is that a lot of people, when they get to their goals, then they go to this reward system. And the reward system is usually something that they gave up to achieve the goal. And someone, I don't know if it was Bert, but someone said on my show one time that picture going into an AA meeting, right? And someone got their 10-year chip. Okay. So they literally went through 10 years of not drinking. They come out the door, and there's this guy with a cocktail and goes, "Oh my God, congratulations, you got your 10-year chip. Here, let's celebrate." We would never do that, right? I mean, our logical mind, our support system would never do that. But yet, we do it with pretty much every substance. So, like, I'll give you, for example, most people that diet, so they always say, yeah, I know I have to give up, my sweets or my wine or my Coca-Colas or whatever their thing is, and they give it up. They lose, 10 pounds or whatever, and then they're like, okay, and then they start bringing it back in because they met their objective. But so why you usually need a support system or a life coach is to teach you why that system is necessary in your life. Why did you begin it in the first place? What was the coping mechanism for it? What did you think it brought you? Because we all know if we survived without it, we don't need it. And our body got healthier because of it being gone. So why did we bring it back in after we achieve what our primary goal is, right? And so many of us do it, right? And so that is what a life coach is for. And, for a long time when I had my struggles with, divorce or infertility and, you're grieving over my lost parents, I kind of was like, okay, I won't practice, doing my consulting work now because I feel broken. But then when I came on the other side of it, I realized, wait a sec, this makes me stronger. The fact that I'm not perfect, the fact that I've gone through all these different um, journeys in life, right? And I definitely feel like I've lived, 20 different lives. I feel like I can bring more to the table now. And so that's what I love about it. Like I had a client come in and I said, you know what? You and I are in the same place in life. So if you're okay with kind of going through it together. Let's partner up with this coaching, and she's like, yes, definitely. I just want someone that will hold me accountable and really help me achieve what I know for sure I want. So if you know what you want, come and see me, and then we can definitely do it together. And again, it's just $35 or 10 sessions for $250. I always throw in my wellness services with it. So if you want to get an eye on while I chat with you and check on your homework, it's like you get so much more for your money. And I would love to see you. And if you want to try the AO scan again, it's super awesome. It's cutting edge quantum physics, really incredible stuff. So come on in. Matt can always book visits with me pretty much every day. And I am so grateful for everyone, especially my audience. And a shout out to Marlene, and a shout out to Melanie. Melanie was the one that gave me some suggestions yesterday and what to talk about today. So really, just put your best foot forward. If you can't come and see me, reach out to a life coach. A lot of them will have a quick conversation with you for free to see if they resonate with you and they're your style. What's incredible now is through FaceTiming or just audio calls. Some of my clients, for whatever reason, they don't even want to FaceTime. They just want to do an audio call, and that is fine. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. If a coach insists on something just for their system, then maybe they're not the right coach for you. Find someone that has your best interests at heart and not their own agenda, and what is budget friendly, of course, okay? But I do make a little joke when it comes to budgeting because I see it in my own household, and I think I've told the story a few times. If we're trying to do something that's special, that say might be $100 a month, I'll say, well, you know what? If we give up that little Starbucks run each day, that's an easy $100 a month right there. So definitely realize that there is always money there if it's a priority for you. So, just keep that in mind. And I really believe that, I really do. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Look forward to coming back next week, and give me a call. I hope we can work together. Thanks so much. Have one.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, presented each week at this time by Joanne's Nutrition World, US 1 at Orange Avenue across from City Hall in the Kras Square, formerly known as the Arcade Building. Don't forget that AO scan. Don't forget to look up and Google Dr. Earl AO scan for more information. And then look you on at Joanne's World of Nutrition. This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world on Google Home, Alexa, and the TuneIn app on your smartphone. It's 11 o'clock.